How many times have you shared your dreams with others only to have them fall flat, dismissed by doubt, or overshadowed by someone else's opinions? How many times have you felt the weight of others' expectations crush your own ambitions before they had a chance to even begin? The truth is, when we announce our plans to the world too soon, we unknowingly invite criticism, distractions, and pressure into our lives. We expose our dreams to judgment before they've had time to mature, before they've even had a chance to take shape. And that's when the dream starts to lose its magic. But what if there was a different way? What if you could work in silence, free from the opinions of others, focus solely on what truly matters, your growth, your progress, your vision? This isn't just about avoiding negativity. It's about creating a space where your ideas can grow without the interference of external voices. It's about building something strong, something real, without needing to show the world your every move. Think about it. When you're constantly talking about your plans, sharing them with anyone who will listen, you're giving away pieces of your power. You're allowing the opinions of others to take root in your mind, to make you second guess yourself. You may even start to doubt if you're on the right path, if your goals are worthy of pursuit. Every comment, every suggestion, every critique plants a seed of uncertainty. And uncertainty erodes your confidence, your drive, your belief in yourself. When you work in silence, you regain control. You take back the power that's been scattered in conversations, in meaningless chatter, in moments of seeking approval. You stop giving away your energy and start focusing it where it matters most, on the work itself. The best things in life are often created in quiet moments. Think of the greatest inventions, the biggest transformations, the most meaningful achievements. None of them were born from the need to announce their arrival to the world. They were born from dedication, focus, and an unwavering commitment to the process. The power of silence is real. It allows you to build without distraction. It lets your ideas grow stronger without interference. And most importantly, it keeps your energy focused on what truly matters: your work, your progress, your future. You don't need to tell the world what you're doing right now. You need to show them what you're capable of when the time is right. You see, silence isn't just about keeping your plans private. It's about protecting them. It's about giving your dreams the space they need to grow into something bigger than you ever imagined. In that silence, you give yourself permission to fail, to learn, to grow without the pressure of judgment or comparison. So ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped announcing your plans to the world? What if instead of talking about what you're going to do, you started doing it? What if in the quiet of your efforts, you found the space to truly create, to truly build, and to truly transform? The results will speak for themselves. And in that silence, when you look back at all you've accomplished, you'll realize that you didn't need the world's approval. You just needed your own. This journey, your journey, is worth every moment of quiet, every moment of focus, every moment of effort. Stay with me as we explore how working in silence isn't just an option, it's the key to unlocking your greatest potential. When you hold your plans close, when you keep your vision to yourself, you protect something incredibly valuable. You protect your momentum. Every time you speak your dreams into existence before they've had time to take root, you risk slowing yourself down. You dilute the power of what you're building. Because when you announce your plans to others, you're inviting their opinions, their doubts, and their distractions. It may feel good in the moment to have someone acknowledge your idea, but that acknowledgement can come with strings attached, expectations, pressure, and an unspoken demand for validation. The truth is, no one can truly see your vision the way you do. No one can feel the fire inside you, the pull towards something greater. So when you share your ideas too early, you risk giving away the energy that should be spent on making them a reality. You spend more time explaining yourself, convincing others of your worth, than you do actually creating the life you want. That energy could be better spent, focused entirely on action, on execution, on making progress. There's a strange power in keeping things to yourself and allowing your vision to grow in the quiet. It's like a seed planted in fertile soil untouched by the harsh winds of doubt. It takes time to grow, to stretch toward the light, but as it does, its roots grow deep, strong enough to withstand anything the world might throw its way. When you work in silence, you give your dreams the time and space to take root. You let them evolve at their own pace, without the pressure of needing to prove yourself to anyone. You begin to realize that the most important validation is the one you give yourself. It's not about needing someone else to see your potential. It's about knowing deep down that your goals are worth pursuing, even when no one else understands. The moment you start validating yourself, your confidence becomes unshakable. Your belief in your ability to bring your vision to life becomes your driving force. You stop relying on the approval of others because you no longer need it. You begin to realize that the world's opinion doesn't determine your success. Your actions do, and actions speak louder than words ever could. It's not about talking about your plans. It's about showing up every day, no matter what, and doing the work. In silence, you start to trust that the work itself is enough. You stop measuring your progress by the feedback of others and start measuring it by the steps you take, the growth you experience, and the results you create. The more you commit to working in silence, the more you become aware of how precious your time and energy really are. Each moment spent talking about what you're going to do is a moment taken away from actually doing it. And the longer you spend thinking about your plans, the less time you have to bring them to life. Silence becomes your ally, not because you're hiding from the world, but because you're embracing the only thing that matters, the work. You stop waiting for permission and you start taking the action that will ultimately lead you to your goal. You begin to realize that success doesn't require validation from others, it requires validation from yourself. The quiet work you do, the efforts you put in when no one is watching, that's where the real growth happens. It's in the moments of solitude, when you're fully immersed in your work, that you become the person capable of achieving your dreams. The outside world doesn't need to know what you're working on until it's ready to be shown. Until the world sees the masterpiece you've created, keep it to yourself. Let it grow, let it build, let it become something bigger than you ever imagined. And when the time comes, let the results speak for themselves. The more you guard your vision, the more you'll start to see that silence is not just about protection. It's about focus. Every time you announce your plans, you scatter your attention. You invest energy in conversations, in justifying your ideas, and in waiting for external approval. But all of this distracts you from the one thing that truly matters, your work. The work you do in silence is what will ultimately carry you forward. It is in that quiet, focused effort that your dreams are built. Imagine how much energy you waste when you constantly explain yourself to others. The doubts, the questions, the endless discussions about why you're doing what you're doing. All that takes up space in your mind and drains you of the very energy you need to keep moving forward. But when you choose silence, you take back that power. You stop wasting time on validation, and you start focusing that energy on the only thing that truly matters, the action you take. Your goals need space to breathe, to evolve, and to become clear. Every time you share them prematurely, you risk letting someone else's doubts cloud your vision. It's not that others mean to harm you, they're just coming from a place of limited perspective. They don't see what you see. They don't feel the fire you feel. And if you let their doubts in, you'll find yourself questioning the very thing that once felt so certain. But when you work in silence, you protect the purity of your vision. You allow it to grow without interference, without fear, and without hesitation. You may be tempted to share your plans to get that external boost of excitement, but remember, the real excitement comes from within. The true energy, the real drive, comes from the passion that burns deep inside you, not from the approval of others. When you rely on the outside world for confirmation, you give away your power. When you learn to rely on yourself, on the quiet belief that your vision is worth pursuing no matter who supports it, that's when everything changes. There's an undeniable strength in being your own source of motivation. The quiet work you do when no one is watching becomes the foundation for everything that follows. No applause is needed because the rewards come from within. The more you commit to your vision without needing to shout it from the rooftops, the more you strengthen your belief in yourself. Each step, each small action becomes proof of your own potential. You no longer need to seek external recognition. You're building something that speaks for itself. When you start working in silence, you start trusting the process. You stop worrying about the outcome and focus on what you can control. The next step, the next decision, the next moment of progress. You stop looking around at what others are doing. Their path is theirs and yours is yours. You don't need to compare and you don't need to explain. The more you protect your vision, the more clarity you gain. And with clarity comes the kind of confidence that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. You'll realize that success doesn't need a crowd cheering you on every step of the way. It's not about having others praise your work as you go. It's about knowing deep within yourself that the work you're doing matters. And as that work builds in silence, it will eventually speak for itself. The results will come, and when they do, they will be undeniable. But until then, let the silence be your guide, your strength, and your greatest ally. Keep your vision protected. Stay focused on the task at hand, and trust that everything you're doing now will lead you to something greater than you could ever imagine. The greatest reward in working in silence isn't just the results that come later, it's the person you become along the way. Every moment you spend focused on your goals, every decision you make without the influence of others, every action you take despite the silence around you builds your character. You become stronger, more resilient, and more self-reliant. The process of working in silence transforms you. It strips away the need for external validation and forces you to look inward for your source of strength. And in that process, you discover a version of yourself that is far more capable, far more powerful than you ever believed. The quiet work you do now is shaping the future version of yourself, the one who will look back and see not just the success you achieved, but the growth you underwent to reach it. You realize that the work wasn't just about the goals themselves. It was about who you became while working toward them. The strength, the discipline, the self-belief you build in the silence will be the true measure of your success. When you stop announcing your plans and start living them, you stop seeking approval and start demanding respect. The respect you earn will come not from the noise of your words, but from the power of your actions. People will notice the results, but they will also notice the quiet confidence that comes with them. You will no longer need to explain yourself because your actions will speak louder than any words ever could. You'll become a force of nature, a testament to the power of quiet determination, a living proof that true success comes from within. This journey requires you to be patient. The world may not see your progress right away. They may not understand the work you're doing in silence, but that's not the point. The point is that you know exactly what you're building. You understand the path you're on, even when it's not visible to others. And the more you embrace the silence, the more you realize that it is the key to long-term success. The noise of the world is fleeting, but the work you do in silence is lasting. It's the foundation on which you'll build everything you ever dreamed of. As you continue down this path, you'll find that the rewards of working in silence are far greater than you ever expected. The results, when they finally come, will be undeniable. But the real gift is the quiet confidence that you carry with you, knowing that your success didn't come from seeking approval, from waiting for others to believe in you. It came from your own determination, your own faith in yourself, and your own refusal to let anyone or anything stop you from achieving your dreams. The world will try to pull you in different directions. People will have opinions, expectations, and judgments. But when you work in silence, you refuse to be distracted by the noise. You keep your focus on what truly matters. You build, you grow, and you evolve without needing anyone else to see it. And when the time comes, when the world finally notices the fruits of your labor, you'll be ready. But until then, you'll remain steadfast, knowing that the real work, the real growth happens in silence, where no one can take it from you. There's a quiet power in working without the need for recognition. When you stop waiting for applause, you start to build something that can never be taken away. The world may not see your progress in real time, and that's okay. You don't need their approval to move forward. You don't need their validation to know that you're on the right path. The only validation you need is the quiet knowledge that each action, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your dream. The longer you work in silence, the more you start to realize that true success doesn't come from the spotlight. It comes from the grit, the persistence, the relentless pursuit of something greater. People who succeed in silence don't rely on the applause of others to fuel their journey. They rely on the inner fire that pushes them forward day after day. Their power comes from within. They don't seek external approval because they've learned that the only approval they need is their own. This is where true freedom lies. When you stop depending on others for validation, you free yourself from the limitations they impose. You stop comparing your journey to theirs. You stop doubting your worth because of someone else's opinion. You begin to trust your own intuition, your own inner compass, and that trust will carry you further than any external encouragement ever could. You start to realize that the only voice that matters is the one inside you, the one that tells you to keep going, even when no one else sees what you're doing. Working in silence isn't just about keeping your plans hidden from others. It's about protecting your peace, your energy, and your focus. The more you announce your plans, the more you invite external noise into your life. And with that noise comes distractions that pull you off course, make you second guess your decisions, and steal your time and energy. Silence, on the other hand, gives you the space to truly create, to work without interruption, and to connect with the deeper purpose behind what you're doing. Every moment you spend working in silence is a moment of clarity. It's a moment when you can hear your own thoughts, your own desires, and your own vision without being clouded by the opinions of others. It's in the silence that you can hear the true call of your heart. And that's the call that will guide you, that will inspire you to keep going when the road gets tough, when the doubts creep in, and when the world seems to be moving at a pace that you can't keep up with. You're not in competition with anyone else. Your journey is your own, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. When you work in silence, you eliminate the distractions that come from comparing yourself to others. You stop looking at their timelines, their progress, and their achievements, and instead, you focus entirely on your own path. And as you do, you realize that your path is unique, your timing is perfect, and your progress is exactly where it needs to be. You don't need the world to understand your vision. You just need to trust yourself, trust your process, and keep moving forward. Every step you take in silence, every moment you spend working without the need for external acknowledgement is another brick in the foundation of your success. And when that foundation is strong, when your work is solid, when you've put in the effort with no need for validation, the world will take notice. But by then you won't need the world's recognition because you'll already have everything you need within you to stand tall, proud, and unwavering. There will be moments when you feel the urge to share, to reveal what you're building, to get that external acknowledgement. But let me remind you, the moment you start seeking approval from the outside world, you begin to weaken the power of your own drive. External validation is fleeting. It's like chasing a shadow that always slips away just when you think you've caught it. But when you rely on your own inner strength, when you draw from the well of self-belief that comes from working quietly, you find an unshakable foundation. No one can take that from you. No one can dim that light once you've learned to trust it. There's something liberating about working without the need to impress others, to prove yourself, to make them see how hard you're working. It's freeing because you no longer have to live up to anyone's expectations except your own. You're no longer chasing the approval of others, no longer bending your journey to fit someone else's timeline or standards. You begin to measure your progress by your own growth, not by the opinions of others. The moment you realize this, you reclaim control over your destiny. You stop asking for permission, and you start giving yourself the freedom to truly evolve. You'll begin to understand that your work, your effort, your dedication, they are the things that matter most. The noise of the world is designed to distract you, to pull you off course. People will question your choices, challenge your decisions, and wonder why you're not doing things the way they expect. But none of that matters when you are working in silence, when you are focused solely on what you are building. Your vision becomes stronger, more defined, and it begins to take on a life of its own. It doesn't need to be explained. It doesn't need to be validated. It just needs you to show up every day and give it your all. As you work in silence, you start to feel a quiet confidence settle in. It's the kind of confidence that comes from within, the kind that doesn't need external praise to fuel its fire. You begin to trust your instincts, your decisions, and the process you've chosen. You stop second-guessing yourself because you understand that the road you're on is yours to walk. You stop measuring your progress by how fast you're going or how much attention you're getting. You start measuring it by the consistency of your actions, the depth of your commitment, and the growth you experience within yourself. Your progress becomes personal. It's not for the world to see right now, and it doesn't need to be. It's for you. It's for the person you're becoming, the future version of yourself who will look back and marvel at the quiet work that built their success. The world will eventually see the fruits of your labor, but by then you'll be far beyond the need for their recognition. You'll already be standing in the results of your own effort, grounded in the knowledge that everything you've done, every step you've taken, has been because of your inner strength. The greatest reward for working in silence isn't the applause. It's the quiet pride you feel when you know you did it for yourself, not for anyone else. It's the satisfaction that comes from knowing that every decision, every sacrifice, every moment of focus was a step towards something that is truly yours. It's the understanding that the work you put in when no one was watching was the work that truly mattered. And that, my friend, is the power of silence. When you learn to work in silence, you also learn to embrace the power of patience. So often, we get caught up in the need for immediate results. We want to see the fruit of our labor as soon as possible, but the truth is, great things take time. The most impactful achievements are the ones that are built steadily, layer by layer, with unwavering focus. It's not about rushing to the finish line. It's about showing up day after day, doing the work, and trusting that in time, the results will come. And they always do. The work you put in today will pay off tomorrow, but only if you stay the course. It's easy to lose sight of your goals when the world around you moves at such a fast pace, when everyone seems to be achieving faster, growing quicker. But you must remind yourself that their timeline is not yours. Your journey is unique, and it unfolds at its own pace. When you're in silence, working without external pressure, you learn to honor your own process. You learn that every small step forward is progress, and that progress, no matter how small, is always worth celebrating. The moment you stop rushing, you begin to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment. You stop measuring success by speed or by comparison to others, and instead, you measure it by your commitment, your consistency, and your inner growth. The truth is, most people give up before they see the results of their hard work simply because they don't have the patience to let their efforts compound. But when you commit to working in silence, when you allow yourself to grow at your own pace, you give yourself the gift of time. You give yourself the space to evolve, to learn, and to improve. And this is where true success lies, in the consistency of your effort, not in how quickly you can get there. When you stop announcing your plans, you stop distracting yourself with the opinions of others. You stop looking for validation from the outside world, and you stop second-guessing yourself. Instead, you stay grounded in your purpose, your vision, and your work. It's in this space of silence that you build trust in your own abilities. You begin to believe, not just in your ideas, but in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, nothing can shake you. No criticism, no setbacks, no doubts can take away the power you've built through your commitment to work in silence. As you work in silence, you start to build momentum. Momentum is the quiet force that propels you forward, even when it feels like no one is watching. The more you stay focused, the more you realize that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Every day you work without the need for external recognition, you become more confident, more powerful, and more certain of your own potential. You stop doubting your ability to succeed, and you begin to trust that your efforts, no matter how small they seem, are always moving you closer to your goal. The beauty of working in silence is that you don't need anyone's approval to move forward. You don't need a cheerleader. The cheerleader is you. The belief you have in yourself is what will carry you through when the road gets tough. You'll have days when you question if it's all worth it. You'll have moments when the results seem distant, when the work feels endless. But in those moments, you must remind yourself that everything you are doing is leading you to something greater. It may not be visible yet, but it is being built in the quiet, in the silence of your own dedication. So stay the course. Keep working, keep believing, and keep moving forward without the need for validation. Because the success you're creating in silence will speak for itself in ways you never thought possible. And when the world finally notices the results of your hard work, you won't need to say a word. Your success will say everything that needs to be said. The greatest challenge you'll face in working in silence isn't the lack of external support, but the battle against your own impatience. We live in a world that rewards instant gratification. We're taught to expect quick results, to seek immediate answers. But real growth doesn't happen overnight. The work you do in silence, the commitment you show every single day is what creates the foundation for lasting success. It's not the big, flashy moments that change your life. It's the quiet, consistent effort that compounds over time. The real work is done in those moments when no one is watching, when there's no applause, no recognition, and that's when you become unstoppable. The beauty of silent work is that it forces you to be accountable to yourself. There are no shortcuts, no external validation to keep you going. It's all on you. And that responsibility, while challenging, is the very thing that makes the journey worth it. When you stop relying on the opinions of others, when you stop seeking approval, you realize that you have the power to shape your own destiny. You are the only one who gets to decide how hard you work, how much you push yourself, and how far you're willing to go. In silence, you become your own greatest motivator. Every step you take toward your goal, even the small, seemingly insignificant ones, adds up. Progress is rarely linear, and often it feels like you're not moving forward at all. But don't be fooled, everything you do in silence is building the momentum you need for success. The consistent effort you put in when no one is watching is what will carry you to the top. You may not see the results today or tomorrow, but over time, the compound effect will be undeniable. The key is to keep going, even when the path is unclear, even when the world seems to move faster than you can keep up. Trust that the quiet work you're doing now is the foundation of your future success. You don't need to shout about your dreams. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You just need to keep moving, one step at a time, in the direction of your vision. The more you focus on your own journey, the less you'll be distracted by what others are doing. Success isn't about comparing your path to anyone else's. It's about following your own calling and trusting that the work you're doing, even in silence, is leading you exactly where you need to go. Working in silence teaches you to be patient with yourself. It teaches you to trust the process, even when it feels like you're not seeing immediate results. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see the instant payoff you were hoping for, but remember, true success takes time. The effort you put in now will pay off in ways you can't even imagine. When you commit to working quietly, you free yourself from the need to constantly measure your progress against someone else's timeline. You stop feeling like you're falling behind, and instead you focus on the progress you're making, no matter how small it seems. The more you work in silence, the more you realize that your greatest asset is your ability to stay focused on your own path. You'll be tempted to look around to see what others are doing, to compare your progress to theirs. But this only serves to distract you from your true purpose. The moment you stop looking outside yourself for answers, you begin to tap into a well of strength you never knew existed. Your silence becomes your superpower, your shield against the noise of the world. It's in this space that you'll discover what you're truly capable of. When you stop waiting for the world to give you permission to succeed, and instead you give yourself the permission to be great. The hardest part of working in silence isn't the effort required or the challenges faced. It's the quiet battle you fight within yourself. It's the voice that tells you to give up, the voice that wonders if anyone will ever notice the work you're putting in, or worse, if it's all for nothing. But here's the truth. The quiet work you're doing now is laying the groundwork for everything that's to come. The doubts, the fears, the second guessing, all of that is part of the process. It's a natural response to the uncertainty that comes with pursuing something great. But don't let those voices control you. Let them pass through you without allowing them to take root. You are not defined by your doubts. You are defined by your ability to keep going despite them. The silence you choose is not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of deep inner strength. It's the commitment to building your dreams without needing to broadcast every step you take. This is where true power resides. The quiet work you do will speak louder than any announcement ever could. Every hour spent in focus, every task completed with precision and care, every decision made with intention. These are the moments that will define your success. And while the world may not see it now, trust that every step you take in silence is building momentum. The more you commit to this path, the more powerful you become. You might feel alone in your pursuit, and that's okay. This is a journey that requires solitude. When you work in silence, you're not looking for approval or validation from the outside world. You're learning to trust yourself, to trust the process, and to trust that your efforts are enough. The world may never fully understand the sacrifice, the discipline, or the determination it takes to build something of real value, and that's fine. What matters is that you understand. You know that every day you stay committed. Every time you choose the work over the distractions, you are moving closer to the success that is uniquely yours. As you continue on this path, you'll notice something extraordinary happens. You'll stop measuring your progress by the approval of others and start measuring it by your own growth. You'll begin to feel a deep sense of pride in your work, not because anyone else sees it, but because you know what it took to get there. You'll learn that true success doesn't need to be validated by others. It only needs to be validated by you. The more you work in silence, the more you'll realize that your inner belief in yourself is the most powerful force you have. In the quiet of your own effort, you begin to discover who you truly are. You uncover the strength, resilience, and determination that were always inside you, but hidden beneath the noise of the world. As you work without fanfare, you develop a deep, unwavering belief in your ability to achieve anything you set your mind to. And when the results finally appear, when the world notices the fruits of your labor, you won't need to explain how you got there. Your actions will speak for themselves. The longer you remain focused on your own journey, the more the noise of the world will fade away. You'll find peace in your own progress, in the quiet rhythm of your work. And you'll realize that the success you're building, the life you're creating is not for anyone else. It's for you. You're not working for applause. You're working for something far greater. You're working for your own transformation, for the person you are becoming, for the life you are creating. And that in itself is more powerful than any recognition the world could ever give you. Unusual activity has been detected from your device. Try again later.